Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Tales from the Table Studios. We've got another really exciting game of Dice Trays action coming up in just a moment. But first, a couple things I want to go over. One, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. We always love having people hang out in our chat. We always love when people talk to us in our Discord. That's a shameless plug, by the way, because we have a Discord now. You can come check that out. Find all of these amazing people and other incredible creators there. It's a great growing community. You definitely don't want to miss out on the opportunity. It's also your best way to stay up to date with announcements concerning this and our other shows. Right now, there are two, but there will be more very soon. That's really exciting. We'll talk more about that probably next week. So keep an eye out. Also, um, while we have DTA today, on Thursday, we have Rhaegar, Shadow of the Dragon. You definitely want to check that out too. It's another 5th edition D&D actual play run by Jack Gogsbane of Gods and Game Masters, who's a phenomenal DM, if I do say so myself. And yeah, so that's really cool stuff. Is there anything else that I'm missing, y'all? Great.
You can subscribe to the channel.
Yes, you can. We have a subscribe button now. You can subscribe in September. I kept wanting to say Subtober. It's September because that makes more sense. So you can subscribe then. Also, just to go over something we did last week, and then I promise we'll get into it. Last week, I had everyone do introductions and didn't really go anywhere. I've just been doing so many of those over the course of the last 2 months with the charity drive that's just kind of what I fell into. It was a little weird. I apologize. It's not gonna happen again. These are the people. They are amazing. We love you all. Now, let's get to Dice Trace action. Last time, our intrepid heroes took the opportunity to rest a bit for the day and prepare for an evening, certain to be curious at the very least. Before departing the house to head towards the Ambergaze Museum, where they were sent to procure an item for the hand. Now, arriving at the museum, they met with a Maliko, whose name they had not gotten, who led them in and helped distract the guards so they could sneak their way into the basement. Once in the basement, the group found themselves in an interesting place, carpeted with strange, glowing, magical flames encased in glass and iron, held on sconces. They proceeded onwards towards what seemed like an archives room full of bookshelves, scrolls, books, and other trinkets. They didn't spend long in there, though, moving southwards towards a room in which they found a number of books and some very curious artifacts, which Rory, both by his own choice and by the request of now Arachnosoker, um, decided to procure. As Rory was trying to find more information about some of the things that they found in this room, looking through the books, Kunskapsucker went on ahead, looking at it, moving into a room full of paintings and busts, most of which are nothing that draws their interest except for one single strange painting of a dark face with two sets of glowing red eyes and very almost unsettlingly perfect teeth, which was just enough of a distraction for this large centipede-esque creature to sneak up on the small spider form. And that is where we return. Everybody, roll initiative.
Not that.
Um, 20. There the rolls are.
Okay.
Are we still waiting on anyone? Is everyone good? Okay. Just checking.
Did I find anything in that investigation check before?
You are not aware yet. Well, as we enter initiative, you're currently looking through the books.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. 25 through 20. 19.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
22.
Okay. 19 through 15.
16.
14 through 10.
12.
14.
9 through 5.
Aksha.
What did you get?
I rolled a 1, but I think I have like +4, so it'll be 5.
Oh,
Furnished.
All right. So, Toby, you are up first with Kunskap on deck. Now, as I understand it, the only people who immediately notice this are obviously. Oh, actually, I'm going to ask you: would Toby notice this thing on the ceiling?
Okay, in terms of structure, is the ceiling higher than the hallway ceiling?
No,
So it's the same height.
it's the same height.
And how big is this creature?
It's fairly large. It's like probably about 9 feet long, and it's a thick boy.
Hmm. And there's nobody's made any sound yet. So
Yeah, not just yet. I assume it's going to happen in a moment because Aksha and Girna are both like right there, so they definitely will notice it, even though Kunskap can't exactly make any noise. So let y'all know.
okay. So I don't think, given the current state of things, that Toby is going to dash all the way down this hallway to engage, but he is going to see like there's movement. So he may not know exactly what it is, but he's onto something. But his big thing is going to first be turning to Rory and being like, hurry up, finish what you're doing, pack up, we gotta go. And then I am going to run forward up to right behind Girna.
Okay.
Be a second, and he's just still going through the books.
Okay.
He wouldn't be able to see the bug, right?
No.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Yeah, you might
Yeah,
notice
'cause-
like the barest bit of movement, but you're very much busy with what you're doing and wouldn't really process it as being.
As soon as
So-
someone says something, we'll get him to hear
Sure.
about it.
So I'm not going to push past Girna because I would be like shoving her out of the way. And because I don't think we're both wide enough to fit in this hallway next to each other. But I'm going to come up behind Girna and be like, what's in there? What's going on?
Got legs.
Where is Kunskap Sunker?
Somewhere up there. We need to go.
Okay. And that's where I
Is it-
think I'm gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aksha.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Big creepy bug. Big creepy bug.
Yeah, and that's about where I'm gonna kind of like cut the conversation because we're in like a 6-second round.
Yeah.
Cool. So after that, Kunskap, you're up, and I have to ask you a question. I assume you are coming face to face with this thing, correct? Because it is encircling you.
Yes.
Okay, I would like you to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Nine.
Okay. So Kunskap, you were like skittering on the ceiling, correct?
Yes.
So, you go to sort of take a step away and find that your legs are not moving particularly well. They seem stuck, and at a glance, you notice that the tips of them, at least, have begun to turn to stone, and it seems to slowly be creeping up your thin spider legs. You are restrained. What would you like to do?
Does this thing count as a beast, do I think?
You could roll me a nature for that. And I won't make it cost your action.
Natural
It is
20.
Definitely not a beast.
Okay.
It
well,
looks
that-
similar. It looks similar to a number of beasts you've seen before, but not enough that it is a beast. There is definitely something about this that is not natural.
How high am I?
Say about 15, maybe 20 feet.
I drop my spider form.
Okay. So you roll me a percentile.
$55.
Oh, so close. Okay, so you drop your spider form and you feel yourself beginning to fall. And then you stop. And you're hanging. Glance up and you notice that your feet are still coated in stone, still connected, stuck to the ceiling. And it is continuing to creep its way up towards your knees, towards your thighs, towards your waist. The rest of you, except for actually Brory, you would probably notice it too. Checking on your vision, you have just enough room to see it. You just see what looks like a person half fall out of the sky and then just sort of hanging there. It's I believe it's a free action for you to drop that, correct?
Yes, I still have all of my stuff.
And yeah, you all see that where it just begins to fall, and now they're almost kind of swinging from just a little bit. Robes
Do I
disheveled,
notice?
and yeah.
The petrification.
From where you are, I don't think you would notice the petrification, but you'll definitely notice that they're still connected to the ceiling somehow.
He's gonna put down whatever book he's holding and
Okay,
try to get a closer look of what exactly is going on.
sure. We'll wait till your turn, and you'll be able to do that.
I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on myself.
Ooh, okay. So, what exactly will that do?
Anytime something attacks me, they must make a wisdom saving throw or not be able to attack me.
Great. Okay. Cool. I love it. So, what does that look like?
With the stone going up Kunskap's legs, hanging there, they're trying to struggle, putting their hands up and casting runes, and in this circumstance, the centipede would get a rune cast onto their forehead, between the mandibles, and it makes them uneasy about attacking Kunskap.
I like that. Is there like an opposite rune on Kunskap that sort of works like a
On their
repellent
forehead
almost?
as well, yes.
Awesome. I love it. Very, very cool. Anything else after that?
Since I don't have access to second level spells that would make this a lot easier for me, no.
Okay. Then, Girna, you're up. Rory, you're on deck.
Okay, I'm gonna start moving in.
Yep.
I feel like I'm there's enough room for me to get around Aksha because
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aksha
pretty
tiny.
small.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And you can technically share a space with them as well because Kunskap is still up in the air technically. So you can enter that space if you want to. You will then be also directly under this giant thing, but you could do that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna move right there.
Okay.
Okay, and this thing is like 15, 20 feet above me, right?
Yes.
Cool. Do I feel like Kunskap is in immediate danger?
Yes.
Okay, great.
It does
I'm
seem
gonna
that way.
grudge-
Correct.
Girna would start rattling if she could make noise. And then things start to whir, and slowly, and then very rapidly, things start to and she gets nice and big.
Give me a moment. Got you. Damn.
Okay, can I reach it now?
Absolutely. Yep. You
Great.
actually first. I have to ask you a question. Are you paying any attention to the things around you, or are you focused on this? Be honest.
I mean, it's a cursory sort of look around to make sure that there's not like an obvious trap or something. But
But that's
other than
it?
that, I'm very focused on making sure that Scott doesn't get eaten.
Great. Yeah. So you hear the clicking, and you see Girna just larger and larger and larger, and about halfway through, as well, more than that, as things start to settle with Girna at this larger size, you hear a and just stones scattering, slamming against the wall as two of the busts behind you are knocked over, shattered, breaking into bits of rock and dust.
But today's the oh well, Girna barely even pays attention to it because
Sure.
Laser focus.
Okay, so that's is that an action or
It's a bonus action.
okay, cool.
Okay, so I would like to try and grab this thing and drag it down from the ceiling.
Ooh, okay. Make me let's do an opposed strength.
Okay.
$15. What do you got?
26.
Oh yeah, you win. You win so hard. Yeah. What? So what do you want to do exactly? Describe it.
So Girna reaches up and just wraps her hand around whatever part of it she can grab,
Mhm.
and just with one mighty yank grabs it and then like slams it down into the ground.
And it,
Like
oh yeah.
kind of like when you see like an ape with a fish trying to kill it so it can eat it. that kind of just slam,
Sure. Do me a favor, roll me a d6.
Okay. 4.
Nice. So yeah, you slam it and it lets out this like chittering howl almost in pain. Like
Okay, cool. And I would like to try and hang on to it.
sure, yeah, it is grappled.
Cool. And those are my relevant things that I can do right now.
Very, very cool. Okay, Rory, you're up. And the spoopy is on deck.
I'm going to pull out the baton, put whatever he was holding back on the table, and move-
Actually, hang on one moment. Just to resolve this beforehand, you didn't get to finish looking through everything, but the like two books that you got to skim through a little bit, nothing seemed to stand out.
Okay, then he'll pay no mind to it now.
Sure.
Let's see, 35. So 1, 2, 3. Do I see what is holding Kunskap in the ceiling onto the ceiling?
Yeah,
From
yeah.
here.
You can tell that he is like there's stone connecting him to the ceiling, and I need you to make me a wisdom saving.
Wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Ugh. Okay, 20.
There is a
30,
moment. There is a moment where completely understandable panic starts kind of setting in for him for just a moment, but you steel yourself and you remind yourself that this is not that, and you push forward.
You knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Still,
Very
very good reason for him to panic at the moment. So,
Oh yeah, but you're not like full anxiety shakes.
Oh yeah, that. That's 5. I can move here, and Gonna throw my baton at that thing.
Yeah, do it.
Uh,
Does he get any bonuses because it's grappled?
I do not believe so.
no, only if it was a melee
If
attack.
it was, yeah, exactly.
So, come on. 12.
That's not gonna hit.
Yeah.
You use some.
Good.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say you have terrible luck throwing that thing.
Oh yeah, I have terrible luck on all my rolls with him, pretty much.
It's okay. Just mess up this basement. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, so you fling it out and it goes flying. The thing is sort of like fighting with Girna, so it's writhing a lot, and it just your baton goes right past it and comes flying.
Yeah, that's normal. Okay. Bury is visibly concerned. And that's his turn.
Okay. Next up is the Nasty. So its focus shifts to the large thing holding it now, and it begins. So the pincers up by its face spread, and you see a slit down its like what would be the bottom of its face, kind of like a chin, and it opens just outwards, and there are rows of teeth and just darkness, and it just sort of like,
Ugh, no.
and it is
I have
going.
to say,
Yeah.
for 1 second, that as soon as his mouth opened, Girna's immediate reaction was, "Oh, not slime again."
And it's going to like attempt to latch on to one of the arms that you're using to hold it. That is 18.
Yep.
Okay. You're going to take 10 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And can you take poison damage?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then you take 10 points of piercing damage as these things begin to chomp down and are trying to like rip into your arm. Its body begins to sort of wrap itself around your arm as well. You still have it like grabbed, but it is now also sort of wrapping around you.
We're co-grappling.
Yeah, you're like
We're
wrestling
cuddling.
with each other. Yeah, it's aggressive cuddling.
Good old collar and elbow tie up right there.
Yeah.
It's called a struggle cuddle.
Aksha, you're up. And Toby, you're on deck.
Aksha is conflicted because he doesn't know if he should cast magic in this place.
There wasn't any like magical whatnots when I was using detect magic, like no sensors or no abjuration magic. Or
Nothing,
divination magic.
nothing that you recognized or noticed.
We're fine down here.
Okay. Aksha, to save from flinging spells around, is going to do a mind sliver on the creature.
Ooh, okay. So how does that work exactly?
He casts a spell to drive a disorienting spike of psychic energy into the mind of the creature I can see.
Is it a saving throw or an attack roll?
Intelligence saving throw.
Okay, what's the DC? What's the DC?
Not sure. 1d6 or
It's 8. It's 8 plus,
Plus your
spellcast
charisma modifier. Yeah.
and proficiency.
Yes.
Should be in your spell book.
Yeah. 14. Okay. Well, it fails spectacularly. So what happens on a failure?
Nothing. If the spell fails, then
No.
there's
The
nothing.
spell succeeded. It failed on the
Oh,
saving
okay.
throw. Yeah.
All right, so it does 1d6 psychic damage, and it must subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of the next turn.
Nice. Okay. So roll 1d6. Oh, nice. And it subtracts 1d4 from its next saving throw. Okay, cool. Yeah, so
Nice.
it's like trying to rip into Girna, and then like actually how does Aksha look when they cast this?
He just kind of like gets this purple aura around his hands and then focuses, and it looks like a little like forehead laser that kind of like
Oh, I love that.
focuses in on it.
Awesome. So yeah, this just very quick blast just buries itself into this thing's head. There's no wound or anything, but its mouth opens again, letting go of your hand, and it lets out another one of these just shrieks, and it is awful, and it sort of echoes through this long
Can I-
room in the hallway.
Can I shove my hand back in its mouth before it shrieks?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. It goes to shriek, and you're just like, it's gross. You don't have physical feeling, right? I forget. You don't have touch.
She can sense pressure, but that's about it.
Okay, yeah. So it's and
Happy sounds.
actually, anything else?
No, that ends Aksha's turn. Well, I think he's gonna move out of the way.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't provoke, so you can, or you don't provoke right now. It's very busy being manipulated, so you can move as you'd like.
Okay.
Great. All right, and then if you're all done, Toby, you're up. Kunskap, you're on deck.
Okay, each space is what, 5 feet?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Toby's gonna sprint down this hallway.
I in my head, I don't know why, but I imagine like as they're running up behind Rory, there's just a moment of Rory sort of like hunching over a bit,
Crouching down.
and Toby just literally like cartwheels,
Whoops.
yeah, like
Yeah.
back to back
Completely fine with
over
that.
it, right?
Yeah, I was gonna, before, if Aksha didn't move, I was be like, and then we get like a little Mario jump over Aksha. Just like
Boing, boing.
thankfully we don't have to do that anymore. But so Girna and this creature are still grappled,
Yes.
right? Okay. So I'm gonna come running in and just take my staff and try to two-hand like swing. Should just try to crack that thing
Absolutely.
right in the, as close to the head as I could without trying to hit Girna.
Sure, absolutely.
So okay.
And since it's grappled, you have advantage on the
Attack. Yeah.
Okay. So D20 plus Dex plus advantage, right?
Yeah. So advantage means that you're rolling two d20s.
Yeah, you roll twice,
Gotcha.
pick a higher.
Yeah, okay. I'm just like clicking it.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, right, it has the button. I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. So
Excellent.
okay, so I think that just rolled both together for some reason.
it kept the highest. The highest was 6.
Oh, it just kept the highest?
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean,
Okay,
yeah, that
so-
definitely hits. Yeah.
All right, bad. So on a hit, my damage is 1d8
plus your dex.
plus Dex, right? That's a 10.
Ooh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
you bring your rod around and just
Just home run swing. Just trying like take that thing's head off as close as I can with probably a little lower than the head because Girna's got her arm in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to hit Girna. I'm trying to hit just below that.
and there's like a cracking sound, and as your like rod goes past, you can see a small like crack in its like chitin in the body of it, and another like really muffled wail. Anything else?
I think I have one more.
If you
No,
wish, if you wish to do flurry of blows, you can attack twice more with your hands.
That's true.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's
Hands,
true. I
feet,
could spend
head, butt, whatever you want.
the 1 key, right? For
Yes.
that.
You can
Yeah.
either spend no key and make 1 attack, or spend 1 key and make 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll spend the 1 key for the unarmed strike. So it hit
2
in the
unarmed strikes.
side, right?
hmm
What?
You get 2 unarmed strikes. Jeff was saying.
Yeah. But no, I'm just saying it's not with the staff again.
No,
It's-
yeah.
So as I hit, I would just like crack it and then like put the staff back and then step in and just try to like it. For me, it would look like a grab, but it's actually more just like a choke.
I
To
love
like try
that.
to crush. So, thematically, it would just be like it's both in one.
Yeah, absolutely. You're kind of like bear. What's it called? Bell clapping it almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So that's they're what, D4s?
So first you roll the attack. So it's and
Yeah.
both have advantage. So it's 2d20 twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
D20 advantage plus dex. That's that, and then that again.
That hits, and then that again. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So only the first one hits.
Okay, and so that's a D4 plus dex.
Yeah.
A
Oh,
whopping 8.
nice.
Nice.
So yeah, you
Toby.
you bring your like
Fight.
clawed hands in, and it's like writhing, trying to get its face off of Kieran's fist, and it does just in time. And one of your just like large, like mitt-like hands goes past it, but the other one almost like thunderously cracking against the side of its face, like you're slapping it, kind of just bam, and its head just kind of like flings backwards.
But
And
they're
like a little bit
disgusting.
of some spittle and saliva goes flying past.
And
Some of it
as I'm
lands on
doing
the
this-
wall. Yeah.
as I'm doing this, because I wasn't in the room when this happened, I'm kind of like, get off of her. Because I think it's got you.
Right. Love it. Okay. Kunskop, you're up. Girna, you're on deck. Kunskop. No, proceed. Proceed.
I don't know if I want to cast any more spells. No, I do not. Actually, you know what? I'll cast a 2nd level healing word on Girna.
Mhm.
Oh, snap.
How does that look?
Why didn't it do the roll? I wanted you to do the roll. There we go. That's 14 hit points.
I'm back at full.
Kunskop trying to figure out how to get out of their current stony situation, saw that Girna took a hit and throws their hands out, and 2 runes seem to escape from their hands, and the metal upon Girna just binds back together.
Awesome. Anything else?
Nope.
Then I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Fourteen. 13.
So the stone is up to about your waist at this point, and you are trying to struggle against it and pull yourself free. And after a moment, begin to see cracks forming in the stone down by your feet, down by your legs, and you hear the cracking sounds, and you continue to try and sort of force your legs free. And after a moment, you fall, landing.
There's a moment as there's a crack where Kunskap suddenly goes, shit.
And you
Falls
fall.
from-
That's you're gonna take a d6 of falling damage. You're only gonna take 4
I roll-
damage.
Can I roll an acrobatics check to avoid that?
You can roll an acrobatics check to attempt to cut it in half, but you will have disadvantage because you do still have a bunch of pieces of rock on you that are going to make it a little clumsy.
Potentially just land on the crowd of people below him.
I was like, there's like 17 people below Kunskap right now.
Okay, so technically, the
Them.
the centipede. Oh, I see. The centipede thing is sharing your space as you two are tangled up. So the person that they would most likely fall on is Toby, but we'll see.
He'll be
Ah.
soft and fluffy, and if Scott lands on them, then maybe they can be less ouch.
Also, if Girna and the creature are sharing a space, I should be 1 spot lower. Which
14.
means that I'm not under Kunskap.
Okay, so with a 14, I'm gonna let you have the damage. So you land, you just kind of land on your butt, and the stone that's surrounding your legs and stuff hits the ground, cracking and falling away from you. You're gonna take 2 points of damage from falling, but you are free. With that, Girna, you're up. Rory, you're on deck.
Okay. Girna is wrestling with this many-legged creature, and she's like, "I will ride you and break you like a wild stallion."
Okay.
And then she keeps one arm on it and then reaches for her staff with the other arm and takes it and grabs it and tries to shove the pointy bit right underneath the thing's head, like the joint where its head meets the rest of its body, so she can try and like get it in there.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, okay. Yeah, go for it.
That is 18 plus, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
I hope
100%.
that
Yeah,
hits.
yeah, roll your damage. Poor fella.
Okay, that is That's 10 points of damage.
Nice. Yeah, this thing is looking pretty beat up. You don't manage to get like full contact as it is still like writhing around, but you give it a nice deep cut, and there is just sort of this green blood sort of beginning to flow out from there and from the crack on its back that Toby made.
She's gonna. Is it like stuck in there or?
No, it just kind of
Okay.
like slices past.
Okay, cool.
Anything else?
After that, she's gonna take it and put it under it and just kind of use it as like a thing to ride the guy with.
You sure? You're a little big to be riding it, but yeah, that's it. You give it a shot. I believe.
Yep.
Okay, so Brory, you're up with Spoopy on deck.
Okay. He is going to just charge at this thing. Once he gets within 10 feet, Rory's going to let out a very loud roar at this thing. Wisdom saving throw against it.
Sure.
DC
Oh,
12.
that's actually good. Yeah, that's gonna beat it. I have a 15 on the die.
Oh well, that was worth the shot.
Yeah,
Alright,
absolutely.
So, part of the charge, I just run in and try to bash the thing in its skull.
Yeah. Can you get one closer?
I mean,
if you want to go down because
Yeah.
you can't. Yeah, that's perfect.
And I got advantage because it's grappled, right?
Yep, absolutely. Make it do what it do.
Lucky miss.
Hey,
Yay.
23.
that's gonna hit. Absolutely, that's gonna hit.
Nice.
Yeah. And
All
even
right.
if the roar didn't mechanically do anything, it's still a really cool thing. You just running down that hall, letting out this big roar, and then whacking this thing in the head. So many of y'all have like blunt objects of destruction, and I love it.
So we get some damage on him. 11. And how much of that? 3 of that was cold. So 8 bludgeoning, 3 electric.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, this thing is looking real messed up. Anything else?
Kunskop's legs are intact.
Yes.
Okay. Little less concerned now.
Yep,
That's
all of
fine.
them came down. Okay. You were done after that, you said?
Yep.
Okay, so Spoopy's up. Actually, you're on deck. So Spoopy is going to continue sort of struggling with Girna, attempting to get away. You're going to have to roll a strength athletics as it tries to break your grab. Oh, good.
Another 18.
Okay, I got a 19.
I'm sorry, that's on the die. My
Well-
strength is that's plus 6 in strength.
Well, then it did not get enough. Good stuff. Wait, plus 6?
Well, my strength is 4 plus proficiency.
Right. Yep. That'll do it. Okay. Yeah. And this thing just is just struggling, writhing, trying to fight its way out from your grip. But to no avail.
Girna's just like, you're not getting at my friends.
And it starts sort of flailing its head around wildly. And it is done. Akshay, you're up. I need you to make me a constitution saving. Nice. Yeah, you're fine. Proceed.
23.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. Aksha is going to try Mind Sliver again.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Oh, wait a second.
yes.
If it was affected by Mind Sliver, it loses a d4 to its roll.
For a
the
saving
roll.
throw.
Mhm.
Oh. That's
Yeah.
true. Hang on. It would be minus
might have a
one.
scared bug.
It would still, no, it would still.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Worth a
No,
shot.
but good. No, good catch. Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny. I had it written down. I was looking at it and just completely forgot. I apologize. Thank you for bringing it
Oh,
up.
good.
Take an inspiration.
Ooh, yay.
So yeah, Mind Sliver. What's the save? We said
1 die 4.
it was
14.
14. It fails.
14.
So it'll take 1d6 of damage, and then we'll have a minus to its saving throw again. Okay. Yeah, and let's have another one of these shrieks in pain. And you can see it sort of like throwing its head around. Its eyes are sort of like blinking rapidly. And when they're not, you see its eyes sort of like shifting. Anything else?
Nope.
right.
Aksha is done.
Toby, you're up. Kunskap, you're on deck. Toby, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Got it. That's a 19.
Yeah, you're good.
Nice.
Proceed.
Cool. So I'm gonna move around to like somewhere over here, which would be like in front of where it is, like
Yeah.
looking where its head is.
Yeah.
Because I know we're all like grappling and knocking it around in this area. Plus, I have no idea. I'm trying to picture the position it's in with Girna.
Girna's kind of on top of it with her staff under it, pulling it back.
Okay. So is its head like up in the air by you, or is it
Yeah,
just kind of like
Yeah,
all right.
its head would be like right there.
Okay. So I want to just try to like take my staff and just whack it in the head, just straight down.
Yeah, go for it.
So
And I'll count this as flanking, so you have +2 to hit.
Okay. Just
And
gonna
adva-
add. 21.
Yeah, that'll absolutely hit.
Cool. So D8. Nope. Nope. Stop. Okay, thank you.
Grapple things more often.
That'd be a 9. That'd be a 9.
9 points of damage.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You said you're like bringing it down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you slam your like rod staff into this thing, and its head just like whips downwards and like cracks against the floor, which you can tell based on the sound underneath this rug is more stone. And it just is. Its eyes are sort of glazed over, and its legs are flailing kind of wildly, but not with purpose at this point. It's really badly messed up, and it's just dripping this green blood from its mouth, from the cut by underneath the first section of its body, from the crack on its back. It is doing very bad, very bad. And Gianna, you feel it kind of like tense around your arm.
So on the successful hit, can I then what is it? Flurry of blows, is it? But not spend the key, just go for one hit?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll do that. So that's is that still with advantage?
Yes.
Okay. It's a 23.
Yeah, that absolutely hits.
So on that, I'm gonna try to step on him.
Oh,
Awesome.
very cool. Okay, roll your damage.
7.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you, are you attempting to kill it?
If possible, yes.
Describe your kill.
Okay. So as it's down, Agirna, do you still have like your staff like under it?
When you slammed your thing, she let it go so like it slammed down into the
Oh, okay.
into the concrete.
Cool.
But she
So
still
just-
has like she's still on top of it.
Okay, cool. So it's just like flattened, and however it was like stunned, looking all like a bloody mess there, and it's like slowly like picking its head up, like trying to reorient itself to move. And as it does this, I step forward and just like pick one leg up as high as I can, which isn't very high. And as I do this, I just like, with all the force I can muster, just straight down, just stomp on its head. Just like, and you just hear like the crack of whatever it is under that top layer just shatters. Something shatters, just splits in two.
You can, Girna, you can feel it just sort of tense around your arm, and all its legs just wriggling. Then it just sort of loosens and slips off. You are out of initiative. This thing is dead. Bleh.
Do I know if it was the thing itself making people have to roll against being stoned?
Roll me an intelligence. Just a straight intelligence.
$11.
You can make the assumption that, considering it was the only strange thing around at the time when you began turning to stone, that is what caused it. Whether that is accurate or not, you can't confidently say, but that is an assumption you feel comfortable making.
You're just gonna immediately get off of it and shrink.
Sure. And it's just laid out there, except for its head, which, is now
But
mush.
You said this room is carpeted, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Toby's gonna like take his foot and just kind of wipe it
Wipe
on
it
the
on the
carpet. Yeah,
Okay, sure.
he doesn't want to attract bug juice.
Yeah, absolutely.
you're just gonna
I'm gonna
turn to Coon-
cast. Oh no, I'm not gonna cast that. Never mind.
you're just gonna turn to Coonscop to check on them.
Kunskap stands up and dusts themselves off and looks over at Gina and says, "That was interesting."
Are
Are
you
you
all
okay?
right?
Oh yes, I'm fine.
Good.
I suggest we continue to proceed. I don't want to be here very much longer.
So in this room now, you all can see it's just a room full of rows of, well, the walls rather are lined with paintings of different figures, some recognizable, some not. Each one has beside it a plaque which speaks of the people who made it. Besides the one that stood out for you, Kunskap, Aksha, there is one that you you maybe have seen it before. But you know you've heard of it. It was actually it unlike the rest of the paintings here. It seems to move. The waves of the water that this sort of like large, what looks almost like a fortress of a ship sits on, sort of just sway back and forth, and occasionally a bird sort of flies by in the sky above it, with this incredibly surprising, accurate detailing. There are, you can see if you look closely, little shapes of people, shadows of them moving throughout the ship. And the reason this stands out to you so much is this was actually a favorite of your master's, this painting. This painting was from a relatively well-known artist, a mage artist within Lysantis, by the name of what was it? Ariel, Arail, Ariel Zodan, who is your master would talk about them sometimes. They came from the Kabbalion, one of the major academies in Lysantis, and have over the last 5 or 6 years become a huge mainstay within the art community for their paintings like this one.
Okay, Aksha's, I guess, kind of lost in thought for a moment while they stare at the painting.
Toby, and she's gonna be like, "You are very good in that fight."
Well, thank you. What was that thing?
A bug?
I have never seen a bug so big before.
Kunskap's actually, as they're speaking, will begin to inspect the dead creature. What would you like me to roll?
What are you looking at it for?
I'm trying to figure out what it is, how it got to be, because this is not a natural creature at all.
Okay, well, you're gonna spend a little bit of time doing that. I'm gonna let them finish their conversation, and then we'll resolve that.
I do not think we should stay here much longer. We should find what we came here for and get out as soon as possible.
Yes, we should hurry. Lysantis seems to be full of things that are gross.
I think while Kunskap is inspecting the corpse, Rory's gonna go back and pick up the silver box. Curiosity if that is getting the better of him, and then head back to the group.
Okay, so you're taking the silver box that may or may not be a puzzle box.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something that would definitely catch his attention, and he would. Curiosity is getting the better of him for it.
All right. Sure.
As he does this, Toby is going to like go like halfway down the hallway to like make sure that nobody goes anywhere alone
Mhm.
because this place is sketchy.
There isn't any other movement that I see, like in the room next to us as I'm going in here, right?
Mm. You see a shadow behind this bookcase here that I'm pinging.
Where?
Oh,
I see. Yeah.
You see a bit of a shadow. It's flickering behind, like, in front
The
of
light.
the light that's coming from there. It's entirely possible it's the flame flicking in strange directions, but you can't be sure.
After picking up, he's gonna walk back to Toby and just whisper to him, "I couldn't tell, but there might have been something else behind one of those bookcases."
mhm. Wherever
Should
we go, someone should always be checking behind us. Do you think we should go investigate this together and tell the others?
Well, while you think about that, I'm going to go back to Kunskap for a moment. Kunskap. So you can roll me a straight int check.
Natural 20 for a total of 23.
Nice. Okay. So this seems, it's strange. So it's not like any creature you've come across or learned about before, but it has pieces of ones you do. I mean, very clearly, the body itself seems like it's that of a centipede, but the eyes are so interesting. The eyes seem like they at least fit the description of what you've been told through stories of your people are the eyes of a basilisk. And there are the teeth that seem to be in this weird open splitting mouth that now are sort of scattered across the floor obviously do not belong in any insect. These are teeth meant for eating meat. There's a lot of different things that they could be from, but a centipede is not one of them, and they don't seem large enough to have come from a basilisk either, because from what you understand, while this thing is large, basilisks also are fairly large creatures, if not as big, but they don't seem to fit properly.
Well, there definitely would be a price to pay for basilisk eyes, so
Mm.
Kunsk will remove their sakes, which is the long blade,
Mhm.
and start carving out the eyes.
Roll me a dexterity. You can only get one of them because the other one is crushed beyond like value. That's just there's nothing you can be able to do with it. What is so Aksha, Girna, the two of you standing in that hallway, Aksha, obviously you're kind of transfixed by this painting, but you both hear this just squishing sound as the blade plunges in and starts going away.
12 total.
So you you manage to sort of get it out, but it's not pristine. It's definitely damaged. Um, if you were to sell it, you definitely would not be getting anywhere near full value. If you were to use it for a spell, it probably wouldn't be as potent as you would like, but it's not completely ruined. It's passable.
Kunskap has other uses for it. It's fine.
Oh, Make sure you mark on your
Uh,
sheet that you have it.
Yes. And they will put it into their component pouch that they carry around before looking back up at Kirna and Aksha.
Are you
and
going to
say,
eat Set?
Am I going to eat it? No.
I hope not. This is icky. But
No. But there are those who might want to. That's not up to me.
fleshy people like to eat weird things.
That's not people I had in mind. And Kunskap will stand up and begin walking down the hall.
If you can see him, Rory's gonna just put his hand up for Kumskop to see as he walks back to the room.
Sure.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, Kunskap, would you notice that? Are you looking over in Bury's direction?
My passive perception is pretty high. If somebody was waving towards me, I'm supposing I would notice it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Standing here, do I see the light flickering again behind the bookshelf again?
Yes.
Yeah, I would have joined you going that way.
Yeah, I would just like behind my back or at least on the side, not facing the bookcases, just signal Toby and Kunskop like to come. And he starts motioning.
Why don't the three of you roll me stealth?
Stealth? Okay.
Remember, you are still plus 10 for now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, lasts a long time.
Yeah, and you never got attacked, so you never had to roll a concentration either.
28.
Nice.
29.
Nice.
Well,
21.
21.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So after a moment, that like flickering, you see emerging from behind the bookshelf this like spider-like creature, this blue and silver spider-like creature with a red gem just kind of as a focus point at the top of this long arc that makes up the maybe head of its body. And it just sort of, oh, sorry, wrong person. It just sort of takes a couple steps forward and then disappears behind another shelf.
Just wondering, is that the same kind of gen the orange box has?
No, it is not. It's completely different.
Okay. Did it look like it noticed us, or
It does not seem to have, from what you can tell.
I'm gonna use the stealth roll I made and try to approach it, I guess.
Sure. So are you moving at half speed or full speed?
Half. Round that would round down since I have 35, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 15. I'll be here.
Yeah, and as you get closer, you hear what sounds like things shifting and moving, like as though the books are being moved and handled.
Would I be able? I can't see either of them from here, right?
No, they're behind
Okay.
the bookshelves.
I'm gonna turn around and just whisper. I'm not sure if they notice us. Do we ignore them and move on?
Kunskap will wave Brory back towards them and motion towards the other hallway.
Okay, then he's gonna have speed move away then.
Can we close that door?
Oh, this door?
The one into that room.
Assume this one.
Yes, that one.
If you want to go up to it, you can.
I meant when Rory was there, but that's okay. If we
Uh,
want to leave it
would
open,
he have said that before he moved all the way down?
no, I would not
Okay, then.
risk yelling it. I go with what I said before. Someone should always watch behind us.
Uh,
And after a moment, you see again, it just sort of moves out and begins to proceed down the hallway and eventually disappears behind another.
yeah, they probably aren't paying attention to us and are just dealing with the bookcases for whatever reason.
We must be careful
take-
on the way out.
I'll take up the rear. And I'll stop moving half speed once I get into this hallway.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is this a door here?
No,
Or is that just a
that's
painting?
just a painting. Just a
Okay.
large mural. It's a mural depicting Southreach as seen from out in the sea.
Just because I'm getting the feeling of this, can I make an investigation to see if there's anything off about this painting?
Absolutely. Feel free.
Meanwhile, everyone else left.
And
So
We want to get out of here. We want to find what we need to get and go.
Yeah,
the
we need to-
only hang on.
I know, but no Rory left behind.
The only
taking up the rear.
thing that stands out to you is the Dominestica seems to be painted in this almost ivory white. There's no blue, there's no silver. It stands as almost sort of like a visual beacon within the painting itself, which I suppose is not the strangest of things, especially if this was made by someone who is devout, but it stands out. And that catches your attention. Looking at the nameplate, you don't recognize the name or anything, but just your attention is called to this for sure. Now, for you, it's exceptionally strange because in the places that you spent most of your time, at least the two major ones, there are a lot of ways that things are presented both to the people and to outsiders, and the way that people's perception of it impacts that. But your people in particular don't really function in the same way. There's only the one place that matters, and they would still never go out of their way to have it not fit the aesthetic, especially when that aesthetic has so many religious and cultural meanings. So it's strange that it is lacking of these colors that they associate so closely with their primary saint and their god.
it's weird. Okay, if there's nothing else that stands out, though, he's not artsy enough to be able to read into that. He'll just head on.
Sure.
Just take up the rear behind Toby.
Caught up to everybody else.
So going down this hallway, you have another source of light until you turn that last corner, Girna, where it seems to be completely lightless. The door here, unlike Kunskap, you'll notice the door here, unlike the previous doors, does not have, almost very specifically, does not have any cracks at the top or the bottom. It does, however, have a keyhole.
Kira tries the door,
It is locked.
expecting it. Yeah.
It is very locked.
And she is going to unsling her backpack and pull out her lockpicking kit.
Ooh. Okay. Cool. Are you proficient with that?
I am proficient with these tools. Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. Do you tell anyone else about this, or are you just you reach the door, you jiggle it, you go okay, and you get to work?
I just kind of get to work.
Uh, so, Kunskap, you're the next one closest. But what does the group of you do? Kunskap, you see, just sort of, I assume, kind of kneel down a bit
Mhm.
and just start doing stuff.
Scott just kind of looks back down the hallway, making sure that the others are following, trusting Girna to be able to do what she needs to.
I'm back here with Rory, kind of like, all right, Girna's got the door. Make sure nothing else comes down this hallway behind us, because this place is really creepy. I don't like this.
Unless Girna says something, or we'll just be looking down the hallway, checking for any motion or anything.
So I rolled a 13 on my sleight of hand. That's +2 for.
Well, it's not
that.
sleight of hand. It's just
Oh, it's not.
no. It's Dex plus proficiency from the lockpicking kit.
Okay, so plus Dex is 2, and then proficiency +2, so that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Okay. So you are gonna take about 10 minutes sitting down and really working at this lock. It's a tricky one. It's not as tough as some of the ones that you've had to work with in the past, but definitely has less rust and wear on it than those did. So you're confident that with a careful touch and some patience, you'll get there. But it will take you a couple of minutes to do so. If there's anything anyone wants to do in those 10 minutes.
She'll let them know when as soon as she's like, I'm confident it's gonna take a minute. She's gonna be like, Kunsap Sokar, this will take me a moment.
Okay.
Would
They
a bit
don't-
of light help?
She has dark vision. I don't think it matters.
Okay, so if there's nothing anyone wants to do, then yeah, a couple of minutes pass, and then stay.
Well, if she said it's going to take like 10 minutes, I'll use I'll start ritual casting detect magic. It should be done by then.
Okay, yeah. Then click, and you hear the lock pop.
Whoa.
Oh.
I'm gonna open up the door.
Opening up to the door to this room, immediately you are presented with this pulsing light that fills the room, and the center of it seems to be this large, almost dome of blue energy swirling and dancing across itself that makes the stone walls of the room just seem sort of constantly in motion from the roiling energy. On the ground beneath this dome, centered is this strange looking shifted star, and around it arcane symbols drawn onto the ground.
Really quick, out of character and all that. This looks dope.
Thank you.
Yes. Very cool.
Irna is immediately transfixed and fascinated and steps into the room.
Upon like getting inside of this room, what's the detect magic like telling me?
It is. Give me one moment. Tell you. Just double checking. It is conjuration. So it's blue. Like it is.
So there's runes on the ground and just energy circling. Do I see anything in the energy?
No, but there is, as you get into the room, you all notice there's a slow but persistent that just sort of pulses, and you can feel it almost like in your bones. For those of you who have bones, you can feel it. Maybe for you in your gears, but you can feel it in your bones. Just this thrumming.
And Aksha do a Arcana check to
Absolutely,
see if he
And
knows what this might be.
be my guest.
Are the runes and the orb of whatever giving off different auras, or is it part of the
No,
same?
it's all the same.
Coonscop got a 15 on their roll.
I'm gonna
would-
hard.
Also like to do an Arcana roll because Gear's gonna kneel down and like expect the runes, the arcane runes.
Okay, so generally I try and keep it to 2 people, but I will allow 1 more of you to roll.
I want to cast identify, just hard cast spell slot.
Okay, yeah. So then that's fine. Then Girna, you can roll your Arcana. Rory, you cast Identify.
Aksha rolled an 8.
Well, the 14.
Do you, Rory? Do you have a pearl? Right, Identify needs a pearl.
Yeah.
You do. Okay. Oh, it's in your tool, correct? Or no, it's separate.
I should have put it in there. If it's not in there, then
Okay. Yeah, I mean we can.
add it later.
It's flavor. We can just say that it's in your little tool.
I spent the gold on it.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Very low in gold now.
I wonder why.
And
Sure. And Girna, you were rolling an Arcana as well, correct?
I rolled a 14.
Okay. So Girna, so Kunskap, I think you probably wouldn't recognize it because I don't think your people use them at all. Girna, you might have an inkling of what this is, and Rory, using Identify, you can tell this is an active teleportation circle. Now, keeping in mind, this, I think you would all know once Rory shares what it is with y'all, or Girna shares what it is with y'all, you would all know keeping an active, what's up, Jeff?
When you say active, do you mean it is accessible to anyone who would cast the spell to be brought here, or active as in we're about to have a visitor active?
Active as in it is currently connected to wherever it is connected to. So what
so we could go in, but
theoretically
something could come out.
theoretically, yes.
Okay.
Now, you all
Well-
would know, hang on one sec. You all would know that having one of these, well, 2 really, because you have to have one somewhere else more often than not, unless it's a one-way trip. This is expensive. This is very expensive. Having one that can be active like this means one of 2 things. Either it's active because someone is using it, or it's just active. And if it's left active, if it's something that is consistently able to be used, the amount of arcane energy and subsequently the amount of cost that it would incur to continuously have something like that running would be massive.
We should go quickly.
Yeah. Unless there's nothing else here, we should just stay away from this thing.
This could be very dangerous.
We do not know if or when someone will come through.
And just to be sure, like, I know teleportation rings normally are basically like a homing beacon for people who cast spells. This is just like a active portal, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like a wormhole almost.
Okay.
It's entirely possible it's connected to a network, but there's no way to know without sitting down to spend time like figuring out the arcane like symbols that make it up, or taking
So
a
it's
step.
different from the teleportation circle spell then, yeah?
Yes.
So
Okay.
so
Yeah, we should leave.
So this could go anywhere.
Yes.
Can we relock this door?
Let's close the
Is-
door. And
Is there any way to turn this off?
We should not.
Okay.
We are going to leave, and
I
we're going
believe-
to pretend, for the time being, we were never in this room.
I believe and
oh.
trust you.
And I believe, Girna, you would probably know this from your time with Lilith. The way that most teleportation circles work, if you want a permanent one, would mean for almost an entire year, you would have to have people constantly pouring magic into this.
Massive undertaking.
This isn't something where someone just goes, I kind of want this, I'm just gonna buy it. This is getting people who have the knowledge and ability and like stamina and energy to be able to commit to this and just can keep it going.
I remember someone mentioning that there was a large donation to the museum recently. Do I remember who it was from? That should have been yesterday.
I don't recall offhand if there was a name or if it was just that there was a donation.
Okay.
Like I personally don't recall. I don't believe
fine.
there was a name, but I'll go back and check, and if there is, I'll let you know afterwards. And we'll correct it for the next session.
All right. For now, we outie.
Gienah and Kunskop get to the door, and Kunskop looks over at Gienah and says, well, I guess this will test the fundamentals of my spell. Do we try to sneak by, or do we be a little bit more aggressive?
Let's attempt to be.
Avoid the noise. I think that is better. If we can avoid the noise, I think that is better.
Yeah, let's attempt a non-aggressive approach to this. If those are just workers, so to speak, they might ignore us.
You guys are going to attempt to stealth your way through?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone else is.
Where are we going? Across the way or up?
I'd say across the way, probably. Less of
Okay.
a chance
So-
for them to be bothered by us, hopefully.
So yeah, it's a quicker journey. Just to kind of cut across.
That was a 14 from Kunskop.
17 from Thor.
22 from Toby.
29 from Girna. Apparently the sneakiest at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, you're all pretty sneaky.
When it turns off the clonk, clonk, clonk.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
So we're just going over here.
Sure. What is
No,
that in
no.
total for Aksha?
24?
Hang on, yo. You can move half
Oh.
speed.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see where we're going.
Yeah, we're going
let's
across the
all
way.
cut our way back, including you, Girna.
I'm going.
You shifty robot.
People disappeared. I couldn't see where they went.
So you guys can move half your speed without breaking your stealth.
So
3.
And just to make sure there's no confusion, where are y'all trying to get to?
Are we
Uh,
go-
I
Yeah.
think here.
here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that hallway.
Just making sure.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. You can take another movement. Try not to eat each other.
Are we good to move again?
Hang on. We're missing someone. I see 4 people who's been
I think someone's
consumed.
under someone.
Aksha, Aksha is hiding under someone's legs.
Okay, I'm cool with that. So as you approach this hallway, one of these things begins moving towards you. You hear sort of a whirring sound and just almost the grinding of metal and on metal as it just kind of stops by you, Kunskap. And it doesn't have like a face or anything, but it has these two sort of grippers coming out of the front of it, and it just sort of like moves a little bit closer to you.
Kunskap will move away from it.
And it almost immediately fills that gap.
Is it like trying to reach for me, or is it just following me?
It's just following you. I mean, it doesn't have eyes or a face, so you don't know if it's looking at you, but it just seems to be following you.
Should we keep moving then?
And then you see one in the back just go across from one shelf to the next.
Kunskap will just motion to keep moving.
Sure, you can keep moving. And it just follows you again.
Maybe it thinks we work here.
So Girna, you open this door, and as you
no.
reach down, so you can't tell this, but everyone else will notice. You know how when you take like a cold metal and a warm metal and you put them together, you get a little bit of like steam coming off of it. When Girna grabs the handle to this door, there's just a little bit of steam that wafts off of her grip. The knob turns and it opens, and immediately the group of you are assailed by this chilly wind that just blows out of the room. It's not violent or aggressive in any way. It's just a cold wind. Toby, it feels kind of like home a little bit. Kunskap for you as well.
Yeah.
And there's Girna, as you can see, inside of this room, the ground, instead of the rug or carpet that you've seen so far, is snow. And there are large, like, rocks that are filling the room. And to the back, a trough filled with what looks like hay and small, maybe sausages, just these twisted cylindrical sort of swirling things that you've seen recently. You saw yesterday, in fact, when you purchased the snacks. And on these rocks, running around this room, tumbling off of them with one sort of greedily legs wiggling in the air, face buried in the trough, are just a bunch of Naropo.
He immediately goes in and picks one up.
So as you begin moving over, this one here is gonna kind of like shake itself and let out what you assume is the closest thing to a growl they can do. And as it like shakes, little bits of snow just sort of like fall off of it. You also realize moving into the room that it seems to be snowing, just very lightly. Just
Are
snow
these the
falling.
same ones?
They are the same type, but you wouldn't know immediately offhand if they are the same ones. They look similar. Actually, Kunskap, I forget. We established this last time. Do your people know about them?
Yes.
They do. No, they're the same like creature, but they're not the same Naropo.
Girna, these are not the same ones we spoke to before. Perhaps a little bit slower in the movements.
And they start to
They
sort
don't
of
take-
like other ones just start sort of moving about the room. Some of them coming towards you. Some you notice one sort of dart away and hide behind one of the rocks. And others, like there's one here that sort of leaps off towards you, Rory, and they're just sort of like, yeah, responding.
Remember, these are predatory species. Let's not invade their territory. Perhaps we should continue on.
Yes.
Mirna looks at this little round snowball creature and tries to picture it hunting. She just looks at Scott and goes, "What do they eat?"
After a moment, like as you say that, it charges forward and falls off the rock and just tumbles down to your feet, landing like on its butt. Snow sort of like explodes upwards, both from what it's displaced and from its own fur, and it just kind of goes.
Yes, you are very fierce.
I should still detect magic going. Is there any magic that's causing the snow, or
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's I believe that would be evocation.
okay? Is
Oh no,
Kunstop
I'm sorry,
following us in?
Transmutation. I think actually is more accurate. Yeah.
No, Kunskap thinks this is a waste of time.
There's another door here. Rory's gonna move over to the door.
Plus, I don't want to bring a robot into a animal enclosure.
Yurna reaches down to pet it.
Kunskap's going to mostly shut the door so one can't escape.
Just as you shut it with yourself on the outside.
Yes,
Okay, so
Oh,
just as
no.
you shut it, you hear like a thump.
I didn't shut it fully. I'm holding it close so that there's a gap,
Oh,
but just to
okay,
so they can't slip out.
sure. So you close it and you hear like a thump, 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 thump of like tiny little legs wrapping against it. Yurna, you said you're picking one up.
I'm gonna pet it.
Sure, you reach down and it's like, and then you put your hand on it and it just sort of almost sort of melts under your hand. It just slowly like flops down to the ground. Its little legs sort of like spread outwards, front and back, and it sort of like snuggles against your hand in the snow.
Yeah, so cute, but I cannot. We have to do things.
Is this door locked?
Yes. You try the
Uh,
handle and it is locked.
Rory's gonna try to pick it then. I'll take out his tools.
Sure, yeah. Dex plus proficiency. Because I know you have proficiency in tools. The lockpicking tools.
Yeah, so that would be +4 because expertise. $15.
Okay. It's gonna take you a couple minutes, but you do manage to get it unlocked. So in that time, I don't know if what y'all want to do, if you're just gonna hang out with these things, or whatnot. Toby, obviously, again, I think we established last time that you know what these are.
Yes, they are great with children.
And one of them
Can be somewhat domesticated, but these are not.
one of them sort of like rushes over to you and it doesn't stop as it reaches you, so it just kind of headbutts you in the ankle. It doesn't hurt or anything, of course, just headbutts you, and again a bit of snow just kind of goes flying, and then it just sort of like sits on your foot.
I like reach down and kind of like pick it up with like one hand and just like roll it in the snow like a bowling ball.
Yeah, it just rolls across the room, accumulating snow as it goes.
See, good for children.
The one over.
Yurna
Oh yeah, go ahead.
plays with like for as long as it takes for him to do the lock. Yurna's like rolling around in the snow with them, picking them up, dancing with them.
Yeah, and after a while, more of them sort of start approaching you as well and getting in on that. This one over here was originally thudding at the door, but Kunskap, unless you're opening it, which I assume you're not, they want nothing to do with it. Eventually, it just sort of gives up and it turns and it like turns and it looks over at you, Aksha.
Oh, are you done now?
And it like takes a step or two back, and then it charges you and it goes to like headbutt at you. And if you don't move or anything, much like with Toby, it just sort of like bobs into you, snow goes flying, and it just sort of like plops down on its butt with its little two stubby legs out, and the front two sort of leaning forward between them, and it just looks up at you.
Well, that was ineffective, huh?
And then it leans back a bit, and then it rolls forward, so like face first into the snow, and it kind of like bumps you again. This time not hard or anything, but it just kind of like bumps you.
Aksha like reaches over and picks it up.
And it just kind of like immediately begins to sort of like nuzzling against your hands.
Snowball.
It still starts kind of falling off of it. And as you shake, it's like,
The door is secure now, Kunskap. You may come in if you wish.
Again, I do not wish to bring a robot into an animal enclosure. Unless the robot
So
has
following.
suddenly left me and now I feel all alone.
yeah, the creature, the construct has wandered off.
Oh,
I am no longer interesting even to robots. Kunskap lets out a sigh, looks back towards where they came, and then opens the door and opens the door just enough for them to squeeze through,
Sure.
and then closes the door behind them.
Sure. You can go on and go through if you'd like. At about that point, there is a click. Rory,
he's
You
gonna put
unlock
his
this
tools
door.
away and slowly turn the handle or the knob, whatever it is. And
Yep.
Open the door.
it's open.
He's gonna slowly make his way in then.
Yurna disappointedly puts down the Naropo.
Someone check the chest plate. Her
It's-
chest, her body. Just make sure she's not pulling an
It's-
Alphonse with the cat.
It's you put it down and you start to move it just starts following you.
Gonna pick it up and put it in the trough.
Off.
Trough.
Sure.
You stay here.
And it like just starts diving into it. So Rory, Toby, as the two of you enter this room, it seems mostly empty, except for one large single piece of stone. It seems to have been very carefully worked. It's a large slab, and atop it, on each of its four corners, are these white gems, clear, almost opalescent, even gems. And across it is carved out a series of runes. I would like Rory to roll me a history check. Just you.
Just wondering, those aren't the runes I've seen before, right?
I would like you to roll me a history check.
Fair
Just
enough.
you.
All right, 19.
Some of these look like the symbols that you saw the last time that you were in yes, some of these look like the ones you saw the last time that you were in Alarad Haba.
So
hang on one
right?
moment. What?
that place in Alrad, right?
Yes, the last place you were.
Okay.
From the last time you were in Alarad Haba. Kunskap. You recognize a decent amount of these, but not all of them. Which, is that strange to you? Is that something that you would
No.
expect?
It is always expected to find new runes. It's always a delight to actually find them. So as soon as they find new runes, they have paper and charcoal of which they will take a relief of the new runes.
All
Funny
right.
fact, As soon as Rory saw that, he pulled out some charcoal and paper and was about to do the same.
Great. Yeah. Kunskap, you recognize, I'd say, about 50% of these rooms, but the rest only.
Wow.
You have not. You know nothing about the rest. What you do see, though, is easy enough to decipher. This is. It's a story. It's hard to get the specifics because so much of it is something you don't understand, but it's the story of a family. It's the story of a family who dreams of something, can't tell what, and how those dreams lead them somewhere, where, and how they have this constant drive for feeling at peace. It's a story where they go out looking for something to become a whole. But the specifics you can't make out. Eventually, they find a place they can call home for now. They settle. And where they settle, there is no one, nothing. And there's more, but none of it makes sense without the rest of the rooms. You could barely understand this much. Aksha, you've seen this before. Not pictures, or rather, not paintings, not etchings, not scrolls. This piece of stone you've seen before. In fact, your master helped with its what's the term? Procurement. Your master helped, and you were there for this when a number of years ago they played a role in ensuring its safe removal from where it was found and its transport, along with a companion who you never saw but had heard the name of, one Bryn Tolrin. When you asked what this was, what it meant, why it was so important, your master, he kept it simple. He told you that this could be a breakthrough. This could mean everything. Or it could be another dead end. But he seemed very excited, and he spent lots of time trying to work with Bryn Tolrin on this.
Aksha knows this. Aksha has seen this before.
Rory's gonna look up just from mad, frantically etching all this. You have?
Yes, my mentor, he helped bring it here to the city. I was
Right.
there when they were transport. I don't know where from. I don't recall from where from. But I do know I've seen this before, and they mentioned another part, but it was not there. I did not see this thing. But I do remember this. And he told me that it was important. It was very important. And he was using it to work on some of his work with the Bryn Toland I'm trying to find. But now Bryn is also not around or available.
Did your master say what the other part looked like?
He did not. I don't recall what he said the other part was. But he said that this could be, he said it could mean everything.
When we have time, I would like to look through your master's book, if that's acceptable.
Yes.
And he just goes back to finish, like pulling out more paper if necessary, just getting an etching of the entire slab.
I assume you and Kunskap are sort of trading off on that.
Yeah.
Rory's getting a one copy for himself at the very least. If
I think they're just kind of circling the stone.
Swapping places. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just getting different portions at different times.
Yes.
Very interesting.
probably while he's doing that, he'll look up at Scott. Can you understand any of this?
Most of it. Well, half of it.
We should talk later. And he goes back to finishing his etchings.
There's a raise of Kunskap's eyebrow, but there isn't a nod or a shake of the head. They just kind of watch Rory for a moment before going back to what they were doing.
Obi, Girno, what about the two of you?
Well, how long is it taking everybody to do all these things?
Maybe 10 minutes.
Toby is patient, but also like kind of making sure everybody's keeping moving because we can't stay here forever and this is not what we came for.
Is he going to try to hurry us up, or
No.
Okay.
He's not going to actually push you to do anything, but if you stopped for some reason, he probably would say something.
no? No.
And if you do stop, he's going to be like, oh, good, you're done. More doors. Let's go.
Irna went to pull out her own paper and charcoal, but once they both did, she realized that, we're probably good. She hung back and is kind of watching them and becomes much more subdued as she remembers Lilith doing something similar so many times in the past. And it's the first time she's really genuinely thought of Lilith in a while, and that kind of weighs on her.
Right. And with time, you finish your etching. Now what?
Kunskap will stand up, put all the etchings back into their bag. And there's a door here, yes?
Yes.
Is it locked?
Seems like
It
it
is
leads
locked,
back
yes.
to the room.
Irna will step up to unlock it.
Sure.
I will
Yeah,
bless here.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. It's okay. At this point,
Okay.
you unlock it. It takes you a minute or two, but you manage to unlock it. There's no real reason to make you go through that. It's gonna lead you back to the main hall. The alternative is just a couple more minutes with the neurohost.
Okay.
Wow, rolled above a 10.
Yay!
Yay.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
we're
not
stopping.
bothering.
So
I'm not
as-
bothering to stealth because they've already seen us and
Okay,
don't
yeah.
seem to care.
So
Yeah, if they
fair.
move in my direction, I'll like duck down so I'm not in their way technically, but
Yeah, I'm still walking very
they're not
So,
going to
slowly.
keep
hang
up
on.
with it.
hang on one sec. I need everyone who has just left the room to back up just a little bit. Yeah, just to about there. That's perfect. So, Girna, as you attempt to go up that hallway, it just sort of stops between you and that door.
Excuse me.
It does nothing.
I try to move past it.
It shifts itself to block your way.
I'm gonna move up next to Girna and see
As
if
you
they can
do-
try to-
Just one more. As you do, the other one shifts into like kind of where you were. and just sort of stands there as well.
I try to pick it up.
Sure. I mean, it's pretty big, but yeah, roll strength. You can try and pick it up.
That is 23.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You reach over and you grab it, and as you grab it, the two like grabber arms that it has just close on either of your wrists.
I'm going to turn around and put it down on the side,
Like here.
like over. Yeah, like there.
Okay. And it continues to hold you.
I'm going to try and pull my hands back.
Sure. You roll me strength.
14.
Yeah. You pull your arms away, and it just sits there and looks at you.
And I'm going to go down the hallway.
I will follow along with her.
I will attempt to catch up to them.
As you move, it follows you. And this one does as well. Actually, if you want, you can squeeze past and move up one more if you'd like. But the first one stops. And then the other one stops right behind you, Aksha, and they just stand.
I'm going to pick the lock.
Sure. Roll it. Now, as you approach the store, I will tell you the store is different. than the
Before you
rest.
roll, I am also blessing you, Girna.
Sure.
Ooh, fancy.
Now, this store is different than the rest.
Not blessing. What's the word?
Guidance.
Guidance?
Yes. So you get to add a D4.
So this store is different than the rest. It's heavier and it's ornate. The metal that makes it up is pristine. There's no wear on it. It doesn't seem old or it has filigree. It has carved into it, etched in just these swirls and symbols that sort of move throughout it, and it's clearly a door that someone took great pride in making. And the swirls sort of meet in the center and then swirl back outwards. And they come back in, and it almost looks like a set of eyes staring at you.
That is both beautiful and unsettling.
Yeah, if you want, you can roll.
Okay. 18?
18. 18 you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you add my D4?
I did, yes.
Okay. So you kneel a bit and start putting it in. And as you begin to fiddle with the lock, you hear behind you.
Oh, that's not good.
And
Should
you
we deal with it?
see, for those of you behind the spider, Toby, Kunskap, and Aksha, you can see the small red gem beginning to glow slowly.
I stopped touching the door.
And it goes back to this very, very faint glow.
It's a red gem, you said, right?
Mhm.
Does it look like Cursite?
It is most definitely refined Cursite, yes.
Is there any chance I could possibly pry it out of there?
Absolutely, you could try to. I don't know that it will love that idea, but you can absolutely try. You don't even know if it has feelings to respond to that.
Let's see if I can turn this thing off. Would I be able to make an intelligence tinkering by any chance with this?
I'm going to make you do a strength tinkering instead.
Strength tinkering, I
Because
am.
yeah, no, it's good for you. But as you reach for it, it doesn't do anything until you first. Are you using your hands? Like, how are you trying to remove this?
I have a set of tools. I have more than a little experience dealing with Cursite, so
Mhm.
I have some tools that I use when trying to connect Cursite to certain things.
Sure. Okay.
And I'm yeah, so
Here's a question before
Yeah.
Brory does this for everyone else. Is there any one of you who feels like they wouldn't be aware of what Cursite is? It's a fairly
I'm not sure if I would. I may have been taught about it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
okay.
Same. I might be very, very acutely aware of it for very specific reasons, but besides that, no.
Yeah,
In
again,
a
you
broader sense, it's like
sure
Do
you've probably
I have
heard
enough
of it.
time?
Never.
Do I have enough time while Rory is about to get involved with this thing to give guidance to them as well?
Yes, absolutely. So Cursite,
that's
for the sake of, hang on one second. Cursite, what were you going to say, actually, Jeff?
I was just making sure that's a D4 extra.
Yes.
Okay.
So Cursite, for the uninitiated, is a stone that comes from the Cursian Dominion up in the north. That is an incredibly potent magical tool. It can be used to imbue magical effects into objects, items, or even sometimes to power arcano-mechanical creatures, constructs like these spiders. One of the more popular things within the Dominion itself is actually something called an equinox.
Equinox.
Thank you. Yes, an equinox, which is a construct horse that they use to pull their carriages. That is powered by Cursite. It is incredibly valuable, incredibly rare outside of the Dominion, and yeah. Go ahead.
So Tinker's tools plus strength plus D4. Watch me roll a 1. 17.
So you reach over and it does nothing, and then you begin to like set, I assume, like a pick or something in to try and like pry it loose.
I have a tool that kind of grounds the magic, so to speak, and then I try to pry it out.
Okay. And as you begin to touch the stone itself, again you hear. Do you continue?
I'm going to slowly stop prying and move back. This thing might attack us. Do we risk trying to disable it and be ready for a fight, or just fight?
Try to disable it first.
Here I go disabling it.
Sure.
And start trying to fight with that.
Yeah, and you, and then behind the other three of you, you hear.
okay, I was about to ask that question.
And Rory, you manage to pry out this one stone. And as you do, there is just this like very small just release of what looks like red lightning that just sort of jumps outwards. And the thing shifts and then just falls inert. At the same moment, however, I need you to roll me a dexterity save with disadvantage.
Fine. I assume Rory has encountered this kind of misfire before.
I mean, you've
Great.
never seen this particular one because realistically, they're all different except for the mass-produced stuff. But yeah, I mean, it seems like a pretty standard, just arcano-mechanical construct.
3.
That's a 3. That's
That's
not
3.
good. That's
I'm ready.
not good. Okay, so
Let's see if Rory's body is ready.
take 14 points of 14 points of lightning damage. And you past Aksha, Kunskap, and Toby, just this blast of like light flies beyond you, hitting Rory square in the chest. And there's a moment of just like wide-eyed surprise. And Rory opens their mouth as though to say something and stops. Rory, you are stunned as every single muscle in your body locks up. And after a moment, you fall backwards against the door, not falling to the ground because your muscles are so deeply tense that you can't go slack. You are just bored against the door, at which point
This is horrible. Okay.
Oh,
we are going to pick this up next week.
great. Just stay like that for a week.
Yeah, just for a week. It's just a week. You'll be fine. It's
It's
gonna
fine.
work. You're
Don't
working
worry
on your
about it.
core. Yeah. Thank you so much to you, my amazing players. I love y'all so much, and I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Thank you to everyone at home watching, hanging out in the chat, being a part of this on the social side. We love you all. We'll be back on Thursday with Rhaegar, Shadow of the Dragon, and then we'll see you again next Tuesday for Dice Trays Action. We love y'all so much. Remember, stay hydrated, eat, love yourselves, and always tell your tales.